Welcome to The Explainer. Let's just dive right into it, shall we? Today, we are exploring the very unique, very real biological realities of childbearing when you live with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome, that's hEDS, and Hypermobility Spectrum Disorders, or HSD. Listen, if you or someone you love is navigating pregnancy with a hypermobile body, you already know that the standard pregnancy manuals just don't cover what you're actually experiencing. So today, we're diving into the latest clinical guidelines and physical therapy research to uncover what is really going on under the surface. So why does pregnancy hurt more when you're hypermobile? If you're feeling a profound, sometimes totally debilitating increase in joint pain and instability right now, I want to tell you that the research we're looking at today validates your experience entirely. It is absolutely not in your head, and no, it's not just the typical aches and pains of growing a baby. There is a deeply rooted biological and structural reason for this discomfort. And understanding that reason is really the very first step to taking your power back. Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with 1, the hypermobility baseline, then 2, the hormone catalyst, relaxin, 3, instability and postural shifts, 4, early warning, pelvic pain, and we'll wrap up with 5, proactive management and support. All right, section 1, the hypermobility baseline, understanding hEDS and HSD. According to a major PLOS-1 scoping review and expert consensus, the combined prevalence of hEDS and HSD is estimated to be between 1 in 600 to 1 in 900 people. I really want to highlight this because navigating a hypermobile pregnancy can feel incredibly isolating. You might feel like you're the only one, or worse, that your care providers have literally never seen a case like yours. But the data shows you are absolutely not alone. You're part of a significant population facing daily baseline challenges of inherent joint laxity and connective tissue fragility. And that fragility, that is the exact stage upon which pregnancy acts. Moving on to section 2, the hormone catalyst, relaxin. Let's talk about relaxin. It's a hormone produced during pregnancy that normally contributes to increased joint laxity and flexibility to prepare the body for birth. In a non-hypermobile body, this is a perfectly calibrated system. Your body releases just enough relaxin to gently loosen the pelvic ligaments so a baby can safely pass through the birth canal. But for someone with hEDS or HSD, well, this normal biological process goes into absolute overdrive. In a typical body, relaxin safely loosens stable ligaments. But in a hypermobile body, relaxin completely exacerbates pre-existing joint instability. Think of it this way. Imagine a giant suspension bridge. In a typical body, that bridge is rigid, and relaxin just slightly loosens a few bolts to allow a heavy truck to pass over it. But in a hypermobile body, that bridge is already designed to sway and bend. When relaxin floods the system, it's like loosening the bolts on a bridge that is already highly flexible. The result? Profound systemic instability. Which brings us to section 3, instability and postural shifts. The effects of relaxin on fragile connective tissue lead to some major systemic physical shifts. We're talking vastly increased joint laxity, which alters your entire biomechanics. I mean, your center of gravity is already changing from the growing baby, but now your joints no longer have the tension required to hold you stable. This leads directly to a higher risk of falls, sprains, and really painful subluxations, which is basically when a joint partially dislocates. So the crucial takeaway here is that this isn't just that typical pregnancy clumsiness people like to joke about. This is a measurable physiological drop in joint integrity that requires serious caution. Section 4, early warning, pelvic pain. Because of this instability, we see cascading effects of pelvic girdle pain, or PGP. You might hear your physical therapist use terms like symphysis pubis dysfunction, that's the pain right at the front of your pubic bone, or sacroiliac joint dysfunction, which is pain at those 2 dimples in your lower back. For expectant mothers with hypermobility, the strain placed on the pelvis and its supporting ligaments causes these symptoms to present remarkably early in pregnancy. Because your ligaments are stretching way too much, your muscles are forced to work overtime to stabilize your weight distribution, and that leads directly to that third point, severe, exhausting lower back pain. Physical therapist Schuyler Archambault really hits the nail on the head here. She says, hypermobile joints and altered biomechanics can contribute to lower back pain during pregnancy, further exacerbated by the additional weight and changes in posture. It connects the dots perfectly, right? The extra baby weight pushes down, the relaxin loosens your structural support, and the altered posture deeply strains the muscles. It's just this compounding loop of mechanical stress. Okay, let's talk about solutions. Section 5, proactive management and support. Based on expert consensus, here is your proactive checklist. Step 1, participate in pelvic floor physical therapy.
A specialized PT can address dysfunction and teach you proper pelvic alignment. Step 2. Use maternity or SIJ belts. These external supportive devices essentially do the exact job your ligaments are currently struggling to do. They compress and support the pelvis. And step 3. Maintain postural awareness. Try to avoid prolonged sitting or standing, and definitely use supportive cushions to take the pressure off those hypermobile joints.
It's absolutely crucial to engage in gentle, strengthening exercises targeting the core and stabilizing muscles. And the sooner you start, the more helpful they will be. Early intervention is literally everything here. Actually, think of it this way. By gently strengthening the muscles surrounding your hypermobile joints, especially your core and pelvis, you give your body a solid muscular scaffold to rely on when that connective tissue scaffolding starts getting loose from the relaxin.
Now, the PLOS1 expert guidelines do highlight some crucial clinical warnings we need to cover. Avoid manual therapies in isolation. Because of tissue laxity, aggressive joint manipulation, like, heavy chiropractic cracking, can actually be harmful. If a practitioner simply pops a joint back into place without pairing it with stabilizing exercises, that joint is probably going to slip right back out, potentially causing more tissue damage. This is exactly why relying on a multidisciplinary care team, obstetricians, physical therapists, and pain specialists who actually understand connective tissue disorders is absolutely paramount for a safe journey.
So I want to leave you with this question. How will you advocate for your hypermobile body today? We've unpacked the science of relaxin, the reality of the early pelvic pain, and the clinical steps to support your joints. Now it's up to you to take this structured knowledge, bring it right to your care team, and demand the multidisciplinary, tailored care you absolutely deserve. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep advocating for yourselves, and I'll see you next time.